this video is for myself. I'm not sure when I would replace this video, maybe post somewhere, but I am on my way back to Michigan. Now, when I look back the last 12 days, I try to grasp what exactly happened or what is the purpose of this trip. My original purpose or intention was reflecting on 2020 and go meditate, be quiet in nature. And now I'm on my way back to Michigan, so I kind of want to do a before and after. This journey, I did not have a plan like my last 2-3 journeys. I left it open. I kind of know where I was going. I kind of know who I'm gonna meet, but I do not have a specific agenda. But every day in last 10-12 days, if you want me to put a word to each day of my life in last 12 days, I would say in flow, if that's a word. Like every day I'm on the road, the people I meet, the scene I see, the sky, the trees, the roads, the license plate, everything seems random, but they are not random. I am on a journey that no plan, but this is a plan without a planning. The plan, the agenda that we as 3D human, that's a different plan as a plan universe already have for you. No plan is a plan. So that's, first of all, that's kind of my one of the biggest realization is, seems like I went on no destination, no expectation, but that's a plan. That's the plan. Leaning into uncertainty, unknown. That is the plan. And number 2 is, I had this realization when I was actually on my way from Lafayette to New Orleans, that I was driving and I had this big realization hit me because I wanted to start my podcast, Unity Through Diversity. Back in June, just had an idea, and in June I got my camper, which is putting back behind my van right now. My vision was take my camper out there and meet people, and have podcasts, have interview with the people I encountered during my trip, and I have a podcast with them. So everything is just like in flow, not planned. Whoever I meet along the way, if they are the right person to bring on to my podcast, things will happen. And also I want to travel because I love to check out new places, just one of the things that can make my soul really excited. And I always know that's something I want to do. So during this trip, I never planned on, I maybe planned one podcast with Megan because we talk about that, and I know her story is, something that I really want to bring onto my podcast. But except her, I had no plan. But when I was in Lafayette, met Jason's family, Jason is Megan's boyfriend, and it just things just crazy. We went to Jason's family and met his grandpa, who just lost his wife 2 years ago, but he is deeply in love with her and missing her every day. And I can tell through his words, his memories, and he kept the house exactly the same way when she's still alive. The love is just, you cannot ignore that. You feel that, you just smell it, feel it, witness it. And I had this idea is like after the Christmas Eve, I had this idea, it was like, because he told me how they met back 50, whatever, 60 years ago, how grandpa, they met, and the wedding, and some of his memory. And I was like, he's 89 years old. And I was like, what if I bring him onto my podcast, and also both video and audio version, maybe through his memory, that I can know who Jason's grandma is, what kind of person she is. Because another thing that shocked me or surprised me is all the collections that she had, or they are having in their house right now. Most of them, they are from China, like an Asian culture, but 90% of the collection, they are mainly from Chinese culture, and I'm from China, and I never, ever seen anything like that in that house. Not saying the general, like Buddha, Kuan Yin, we all know that. Everybody, not everybody, but most people know those are from, Asian culture, Chinese culture, like that. But I also see other lords or gods or goddess that are from Chinese culture that I have not seen them for years. And to be honest, I did not even see those figures in statues. Some of them I just maybe saw them when I was young from those older TV shows that they mentioned about those Chinese gods, lords. So when I saw those collections in Jason's grandpa's house, and I was curious, who is this woman who lived here? By the way, her name is Sally. And why she has such a deep connection with those Chinese gods, lords, goddess. And I asked them, they say they do not know. Then it actually brought me this curiosity, or I want to, through different people's memory, to put a picture together. Is like, who is this so beautiful lady that lived here, has all those collections, but nobody knows why she had those collections. They just know that she loved those things. So I had a podcast with Jason's grandpa, and his name is Paul. He would like me to address him Paul instead of grandpa. And also I brought Jason's mom, Terry, onto my podcast as well, because now, through your spouse, through your kids, I had no idea who Sally is, but after the podcast, after those people, through their memory, I put a picture together of who she is and her heart, and I just felt deeply warmth, from Sally, even though I never met her in this lifetime. So that's one of kind of like interesting, very powerful, interesting, amazing journey when I was in Lafayette. And also in Lafayette, Jason and Megan, they are medicine man and medicine woman. They serving Huachuma. And then that's how I met them 2 months ago in Sedona. I attended one of their Huachuma ceremony, and at that time Megan held a space for me, and I just got this connection with her, and it's just something there that I know that in the future, that time 2 months ago, I know in the future that we will have deeper connection. So but I never know how they prepare Huachuma, prepare this medicine. So when I went there the day before Christmas, I went to Jason's place with Megan, and they just started preparing the medicine, and I got to be witness how they prepare it, and the love and intention, and I honored to be part of preparing this medicine. I also cut the cactus, put my intention, and during my staying in Lafayette, every day I would go. I got to check the process of preparing this medicine, which is really powerful because I also put my love in this medicine for wherever or whoever this medicine going to be served, which I know it would be my fee-for-service brothers and sisters. So that really a powerful experience as well. And I don't want to miss the exit. Also, where Jason lives, I really love his place, even though his house is under construction. I would say not under remodeling. They are putting the new kitchen together, but the backyard, it's like all the chickens living there, and they have like roosters, hen, little chicks. I got to hold the little chicks. It's beautiful, because last time I hold the little chicks was when I was young. My parents had a chicken when I was young, so it was great to kind of have remembering that how it felt like to hold chicks. Let's see where I'm going. This way. Hold on.
In 2.4 miles, turn right
Okay.
onto Washington Street.
And also, it's like very open backyard. There's no fence. The chickens can go anywhere, and they also have a kitten, a cat, and also 2 dogs. I mean, I never see that so many animals living together in such a harmony, peace and harmony. And I think that's probably also in the future that I would like to create, but in different place with different animals, and also have garden. I want to have a lot of plants. So that's kind of also great experience to hold the chicks, to witness, how the real, I had a vision, but I now see actually people are having those animals in the backyard as a lifestyle, which is really powerful. And this journey after Lafayette for 3 days, I think I left around 27th. I headed towards New Orleans, and again, I just know that I need to be that place, but I did not know, where I'm gonna stay and where I'm gonna check out. I never Googled New Orleans. The only thing I know about New Orleans is from Vampire Diary. I just want to go. It seems very cool that Bourbon Street or French Quarter. But through my latest Akashic reading, that I found out, or I have been told, that I have some like past life things in New Orleans, and that's why I feel called to go check out that place. So again, I do not know where I'm gonna stay, and have no ideas how New Orleans gonna look like. But it's so interesting. One of Jason and Megan's friend, and his name is John, that he is a traveling nurse that happened to be in New Orleans. And the funniest thing is he is actually moving to Oregon on January 5th. So it's literally just like 7 days a week before he's gonna move that I drop into New Orleans. So the day before my trip to New Orleans, that I got to connect with him, and he is such a beautiful soul that helped me, figure out where to park my camper, and let me sleep on his couch, which is really nice because I was planning on sleeping in my camper and on the side of his apartment. But the like air conditioner vent, those machines all there is super loud. So I ended up sleeping on his couch, which is very comfortable. And he has a dog. Wow, what is this thing going on here? And he has a dog named Cash, like Johnny Cash. Super sweet dog. But the interesting thing in New Orleans is I always interested in doing combo, which is one of another powerful medicine to purge, to receive this medicine to clear your body, and it has so many good like effects for your body, immune system, and this and that. So I was really kind of like, before New Year, it'd probably be a great, medicine before New Year comes. And at that time, I did not know he actually serves the medicine. So again, from do not know where to stay to, find a medicine man, and all got it all settled, and he served me the medicine. So the next day I was there, and went to the local park, which there's something there, the connection. Then I had to go back to that park the day I leave New Orleans to continue my journey. But the whole trip in New Orleans is also very magical, because when I got to New Orleans, I got warned by several people, is like watching my belongings, be careful, like I have to pretend I'm local. And I was like, how can I pretend to someone that I'm not here? I cannot pretend I'm here, right? It's kind of like also a little bit nervous by the time I get to the downtown, the French Quarter. There's so many people there, and I check around, and I did the next second I realized I was in the middle of Bourbon Street, that I did not even know how I get there, which is really interesting, but it's cool. I was like, okay, fine. So I did a little bit, try to connect with my past life, that I had been told that one of my past life in New Orleans was a black man, and I was slave. Back, I don't know how long ago, maybe 200 years ago whatsoever. And I was like, okay, that's my intention. That's why I'm in New Orleans. Let's do the work. The message is reclaim the freedom, and it's also deeply connected with the freedom that I'm looking for in this lifetime, which makes sense. And freedom is my top one biggest thing that I think in this lifetime. Like if anything that I need to give up, the freedom is the last thing that you can take away from me. So I went to the Bourbon Street, and on the main street, I I went, I don't know which way, but I went one direction and I just passed by a restaurant. And after I went far enough and I felt like I need to find a place to sit down and, kind of do some journaling and meditate. So I went back to this restaurant. It's called a Courtyard, courtyard restaurant whatsoever. I went in, the waiter asked me, and I was just by myself, and he told me, he's like, go choose anywhere you want, sit, but not cross those steps. But I was like looking for the spots. I didn't feel like the area I want to sit down. So by the time I realized I'm already crossed the steps, which is another restaurant. But I was like, well, I'm right here. I don't feel like I want to go back to the first one. So they all connected in the middle. And there's a water fountain. And then there's one table there, has 3 seats. And the water fountain, in the middle of the water fountain, come out, but it has fire in the water fountain. I don't know, like fire and water. So I asked the waiter, can I sit there? And he's like, yeah, for sure. So I sat down, looked at the menu, and I was like, I want something to eat, but there's nothing on it. I feel like I want to eat. So I want to order a glass of bourbon. At that point of time, I haven't really connected why I like bourbon. And I started to liking bourbon probably 7-8 years ago from out of nowhere, maybe just curious. But they do not have bourbon, so I ordered a glass of wine. I sat down and I started to kind of like I took out my journal and I started to write. I was like, okay, I'm right here. Is there something I can do here? Or what does freedom mean to you that you want me here to reclaim the freedom? I started journaling, I was like kind of talking to him. I was like, what's freedom mean to you? Free to cry, free to love, free to walk anywhere you want, free to travel, free to have glass of bourbon, free to whenever you want to get up even, right? Freedom to walk in the nature without people watching you or whatsoever. And I started crying and realized that as who I am right now, I got to drive basically anywhere if I want to. No destination. I'm totally free. I can decide when, where, who, how to get to a place and what to eat. I can laugh and cry. I can order a glass of wine or a glass of bourbon. I can choose this seat or that seat. I can sit because it's almost full moon. So I could choose sit outside next to water fountain, order a glass of wine, and under the almost a full moon. I was like, this is a totally, completely different freedom. I mean, a different version, like the version of freedom, the simplest thing they are asking that I have them all at that moment and in my life right now. So when I think about that, I just cry even harder is because I am living in this freedom, but somehow I still don't feel free enough. So what is the problem? So, and I kind of like things make sense to me, because if I was a slave in past life that I did not have any freedom of doing any of the things that I just mentioned, then I do have some of this need to kind of like talk to this my past life self is like, hey, reconnect, because he is me, I am him. This is he is also part of a fragment of my soul. So to be able to connect that piece of my soul, to connect with him, to kind of like go there to see, to kind of acknowledge how he felt at that time, is actually kind of like bring him to a union of our soul, our shared soul, or part of, because we, the soul, have different fragments, and he is one of this fragment. To bring him to this unity, bring him to this uni, and that's exactly why I need to be there. That's not much I need to do there. By being there to connect, to acknowledge, to be aware of what is the lifestyle he had, 100 years ago, that's it. And I asked him, I was like, what are some things you want me to be here that can, free you up? And he told me, order a glass of bourbon, for sure. I did it in the next restaurant. And he asked me to buy, buy cigar, because I saw so many, in the area, people have selling cigar. I assume that's one of the things that, maybe he really wanted. So I bought a piece of cigar, and I closed my eyes and then put my hands out to feel, when I go through all different kinds of cigar, I just feel them out until I feel my hands like tinkling, poking, and I picked up that one. It's only $9.99, perfect number, and I haven't smoked yet because I don't know how to smoke. And also he said, want to be dance. I was like, well, I love to dance, so let's leave that part, And also, he also wanted me to just go enjoy the food and go to the nature, connect. So after that night, in the next 24 hours or so, I went to the park, connect, sit underneath the tree, connect with the land, and also walked in the park, just feel the air, the environment. And it's so interesting also, those mansions, those big houses in New Orleans, they are so different. And somehow when I was in New Orleans, even though all the houses, they are different, and I was afraid I'm gonna get lost. And the funniest thing is, when I drive on those streets, I did not even need to use GPS to find my way back. And it never happened, even in Saginaw. Some places I just don't know. I have to put GPS on there, and sometimes I feel like I just get lost. I need to, use GPS to find my way back, even though I lived there for 10 years. And this place, I've never been there before. I did not even need to use GPS. And somehow I found my way back and go to those parks. Everything just seems so easy for me to be there. So I decided I want to, go back there maybe with my girls in 2021 around probably summertime, spend some time there and kind of really check those mansions. And that was kind of first half of my trip. I didn't know I would put a almost 30 minutes video, but I think it's the perfect time to pause it and do my second part. Maybe when I'm tired again, need to kind of talk to myself to wake myself up. So I don't know whether I'm gonna release this video, but it's kind of great to even keep it for myself